If I could go back and talk to myself the day I went to the gym for the first time, there's a few things I would tell myself to stop doing immediately. I didn't know any of this back then, but these mistakes probably ended up costing me a few years of progress. I know you guys don't want to make the same mistakes that I did, so let's just get right into it. These are the 4 biggest mistakes I made when I first started lifting. The first mistake I made was focusing way too much on getting shredded right off the rip. This is cool later on down the line, maybe you've been lifting for a few years, but to do this the first year of lifting is honestly the dumbest idea I could have come up with. I was way too focused on trying to look good on the beach instead of actually trying to maximize my gains, get bigger, and get stronger. Looking back on it now, I realize I honestly could have put on way more size and could have built a way better foundation if I wasn't in caloric deficit the whole time. And honestly, as a beginner, I didn't really care too much about putting on size, but as I started to grow and progress and I was about year 4, year 5 of lifting, I was kind of mad with myself because I realized how much of the newbie gains I was missing out on because I was way too focused on being shredded early. So that's definitely the first thing I would change. And if you are just starting out, I would honestly recommend that you guys be in constant calorie surplus and just try to focus on building as much muscle as possible right now. Number 2 was not training a way that actually fit me. At the time, a lot of my friends were really into bodybuilding, and that was totally cool for them. But training like that, I ended up feeling a lot less motivated for the gym, and because of that I started skipping days, and it ended up just hurting my gains overall. I've always wanted to have this balance between aesthetics but also being fairly strong and very functional in my fitness, and just training like a bodybuilder is great, but it doesn't really check all the boxes for me. At the end of the day, I love doing strength sets, and I also love doing some HIIT cardio and just really feeling like I'm exerting myself, and that's just the way I really like to train. And ever since I started doing that instead of just the bodybuilding, I became way more consistent and actually started making a lot more gains. This is going to lead me into mistake number 3, which is ego lifting. When I first got into strength training, I just wanted to slap on a bunch of weight and throw it up and just look super strong. Looking back on it, and also the way that I train now, had I gone a little bit slower, focused on a lot more pause reps and full range of motion in the squat, I think my PRs would actually be a lot higher now. I understand the urge to just throw on the weight, barely get it up, or just bounce the weight right off your chest when you're benching, but that also leads to a lot of injuries as well. It's uncontrolled, and I don't think that it's like actual strength versus focusing, doing the pause rep, doing the rep correctly, and you'll feel a lot more confident in the gym too, and you'll feel a lot more confident in your numbers because you actually hit that. So if I could go back and change that one, that would be huge, because I feel like my numbers would be a lot higher today if I wasn't so focused on trying to look so cool. So trust me, if you're new to strength training, take the time, do the pause rep, and you're honestly going to thank me later, because down that line, your numbers are going to be way higher than they would if you were just lifting wildly and uncontrolled. Trust me. And with that, that's going to lead into my last point, which is not training consistent enough. When I first started lifting in the gym, I was maybe doing 2 days a week. They were pretty hard workouts. But once I actually switched that to 5 days a week and just going consistently, that's when I started really noticing the gains, and started to become a lot more confident in myself and my body as well. And at the end of the day, it's not about how much weight you lift, but how consistent you are. It's good to think of it as week by week, not day by day. And eventually over time, your body's going to adapt to the stress you're putting on it, and that's how you're going to grow. So that's definitely the key point. That's what matters the most. If you are going around 2-3 times, try to bump it up to around 4 or 5. Utilize the rest days that you have, but I think 4 or 5 days is a really good target, and you're going to end up growing a lot because of the consistency. So that's going to be it for this video. I hope you guys really enjoyed. These are just mistakes that I definitely made along the way, and I definitely don't want you guys to fall into the same plateaus as I did. So thank you so much for watching. If you guys haven't, go ahead and subscribe, and I will see you guys in the next video.